Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, we are going to look at some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to Indian and Global Economic Development paper from TY-BCom. So let's get started. The first question is, which of the following denotes the role of infrastructure in economic development? The role of infrastructure in economic development, and the underlying options are: A, enhances capacity to work; B, generates linkages in production; C, enhances the size of market; and D, all of the above. So here, which of the following denotes the role of infrastructure in economic development? All of the following points talk about the role of infrastructure in economic development, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Similar sort of question: which of the following denotes the role of infrastructure in economic development? And the underlying options are: A, infrastructure induces investment; B, it enhances productivity; C, it facilitates outsourcing; and D, all of the above. So here again, the role of infrastructure is denoted by points A, B and C, that is, infrastructure induces investment, enhances productivity, and also facilitates outsourcing, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. In question number 1 and 2, we have seen 6 important roles of infrastructure in economic development, and they are: enhancing capacity to work, generating linkages in production, enhancing the size of market, inducement of investment, enhances productivity, and facilitates outsourcing. Let us now move to question number 3. Dash is the investment in infrastructure by the state in particular assets, whether through local governments or central government or through publicly owned industries. What do you term such an investment in infrastructure by the state in particular assets with the help of local governments or central government or through the publicly owned industries, whether it is A, public investment in infrastructure; B, private investment in infrastructure; C, joint investment in infrastructure; and D, none of the above. So here we are specifically looking at an important word, which is with the help of local government, central governments or publicly owned industries. That particularly boils down to something called as public entities, and such an investment is called as public investment in infrastructure, and therefore option A, public investment in infrastructure, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next question. Dash is the investment in infrastructure by individual firms or corporations. What do you term such an investment in infrastructure which is undertaken by corporations or individual firms? Whether it is a public investment in infrastructure, B, private investment in infrastructure, C, joint investment in infrastructure, or D, none of the above. So here the correct answer is, when it is by corporations or individual firms, then it is obviously termed as private investment, and therefore option B, private investment in infrastructure, is the correct answer. There is a third possibility which is called as joint investment, wherein public and private entities come together and then they invest in infrastructure. So that is the third type. Let us now move to the next one. The positive impact of human resource in economic development includes a dash. The positive impact of HR or human resource in economic development includes what? And the underlying options are: increase production, increase productivity, increase demand, and increase labor supply. And we have to select the correct answer. The first option is A and B, that is, increases production and increases productivity. The second is B and C, that is, increases productivity and increases demand. The third is A, B and C, that is, production, productivity as well as demand. And the last is all of the above, that means the positive impact of human resource in economic development includes increased production, productivity, demand, and labor supply. So option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to the particular question. So I hope that is clear. Let us now move to question number 6. Dash is a summary of average achievement in key dimensions of human development. Dash is a summary of average achievements in key dimensions of human development, whether it is A, human development index or HDI; B, HPI or human poverty index; C, physical quality of life index or PQLI; or D, none of the above. So here dash is the summary of average achievements in key dimensions of human development. It is nothing but human development index or HDI, and therefore option D, HDI, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Which of the following is a part of human development index or HDI? And the underlying options are: A, long and healthy life; B, decent standard of living; C, knowledge; and D, all of the above, that means long and healthy life, decent standard of living, as well as knowledge. So here again, which of the following is a part of HDI? All these three important things are parts of human development index or HDI. and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Let us now move to the next one. Long and healthy life under HDI is measured with the help of what? Long and healthy life under HDI is measured with the help of what? And the underlying options are A, life expenditure at birth, B, life expectancy at birth, C, happiness over a lifetime, and D, none of the above. So here, if you are interested in looking at the first parameter, which is long and healthy life as a part of HDI, you are bound to look into something called as life expectancy at birth, and therefore option B is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to question number 9. A decent standard of living under HDI is measured with the help of what? A decent standard of living is measured with the help of A, gross national happiness, B, gross national income per capita, C, poverty rate, or D, all of the above. So here again, under HDI, if you are interested in finding out a decent standard of living with respect to population, then you should know the concept of, or you have to understand the concept of gross national income per capita, because that is usually used to denote the decent standard of living. So option B, gross national income per capita, or GNI per capita, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to question number 10. Educational attainment under HDI is measured with the help of dash. Educational attainment under HDI is measured with the help of A, adult literacy and combined primary, secondary and tertiary enrollment. In this case, 2/3 weight is given to adult literacy and 1/3 is given to the combined enrollment. Second is midday meal schemes in school. Third is number of students who left the school or dropout rate, and last is all of the above. So here, if you are interested in finding out the educational attainment under HDI, then it is measured with the help of adult literacy, which is weighted 2/3, and combined primary, secondary and tertiary enrollment, which is weighted at 1/3. So option A is the correct answer to this question. So I hope all these three components in a sense are important with respect to HDI, and now you know how do you calculate them. That is, if you are looking at educational attainment under HDI, you have to look at adult literacy and the combined enrollments, for which you have given 2/3 and 1/3 weights respectively. If you are interested in looking at decent standard of living, then you have to measure something called as gross national income, and if you are interested in long and healthy life, you have to look at life expectancy at birth. So these were the three important components of HDI. I hope they are clear. Let us now move to the next one, very important question. The concept of HDI was first given by whom? And the underlying options are A, Mahbub ul Haq, B, Keynes, C, Smith, and D, none of the above. So here the concept of HDI was given by a Pakistani economist known as Mahbub ul Haq, and therefore option A, Mahbub ul Haq, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to question number 12. Which of the following is not the component of HDI? We have seen in the previous questions, that is question number 8, 9 and 10, what are the components of HDI. So here we are looking at which is not the component of HDI, and the underlying options are A, longevity, B, educational attainment, C, decent standard of living, D, poverty. So here the correct answer is option D, poverty is not a component of HDI. We have seen all the other three, that is long and healthy life denoted by longevity, educational attainment, we have seen the adult literacy thing and the combined enrollment ratios of primary, secondary and tertiary, and a decent standard of living denoted by gross national income per capita. Poverty is nowhere to be seen and therefore is not a component of human development index. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to question number 13. What is the minimum and maximum value of HDI? Very obvious question, minimum and maximum value of HDI, and the underlying options are 0 and 1, B 0 and 10, C 0 and infinity, and D 1 and 10. So here the minimum and maximum value of human development index or HDI is minimum is 0 and maximum is 1. So least, or if you look at low human development index, then you are looking at figures which are towards the 0. If you are looking at countries with very high HDI, you are looking at figures which are closer to 1. So these can be, and in the middle you have the middle group. So option A 0 and 1, that is minimum 0, maximum 1 is the value of HDI. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to question number 14. Question is, dash incorporated HDI or Human Development Index into its first report in 1990. Who incorporated HDI into its first report in 1990? Whether it is A, UNDP, whether it is B, IMF, whether it is C, World Bank, or D, Reserve Bank of India. So here the correct answer is it was UNDP who incorporated HDI into its first report in the year 1990, and therefore option A, UNDP, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The Human Development Rank of India among 189 countries is dash. What is the current rank of India amongst 189 countries? Whether it is A, 111, B, 121, C, 131, and D, 141. Here the correct answer is the current rank of India amongst 189 countries in terms of Human Development Index is 131 out of 189 countries. So option C is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to the next one. Dash is an indication of the standard of living in a country developed by United Nations. What is the indication, or what gives you an indication of the standard of living in a country? And this concept is developed by the United Nations, whether it is A, Human Development Index, B, Physical Quality of Life Index, C, Human Poverty Index, or D, all of the above. So here Human Poverty Index, or HPI, is an indication of the standard of living in a country developed by the United Nations, and therefore option C, Human Poverty Index, or HPI, is the correct answer to this particular question. Very important concept. Let us now move to the next one. HPI, or Human Poverty Index, was first published as a part of Human Development Report in dash. In which year the HPI was first published as a part of Human Development Report? Whether it was A, 1991, B, 1993, C, 1995, or D, 1997. So here very factual sort of a question. HPI, or Human Poverty Index, was first published as a part of Human Development Report in the year 1997, and option D, 1997, is the correct answer to this important question. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to next question. HPI, or Human Poverty Index, concentrates on which of the following essential elements of human life? HPI concentrates on which of the following essential elements of human life? Whether it is A, longevity, B, knowledge, C, decent standard of living, or D, all of the above. So here a very important aspect to look at the standard of living is known as Human Poverty Index, and Human Poverty Index concentrates on these essential elements of human life known as longevity, knowledge, and decent standard of living, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Human Poverty Index is dash for OECD, which means Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries and developing countries. Human Poverty Index is dash, whether it is same, B, different, C, can't say, or D, none of the above. So Human Poverty Index is dash for OECD and developing countries. So it is option B, different, for OECD and developing countries. So option B, different, is the correct answer to question number 19. Let's now move to the next one. Human Poverty Index for developing countries is denoted by dash, and the underlying options are HPI 1, B, HPI 2, C, HPI 3, and D, HPI 4. The question is Human Poverty Index for developing countries is denoted by, and the underlying options were HPI 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the correct answer here is option A, HPI 1. So it is different, we have seen, for OECD and developing countries, and when we look at developing countries, it is HPI 1, which is for the developing countries. Let us now move to the next one. Human Poverty Index for OECD countries is denoted by dash, and the underlying options are HPI 1, HPI 2, HPI 3, and HPI 4. So here we know that HPI 1 is for developing countries. The correct answer here is HPI 2, is specifically for OECD countries, or Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries. I hope both these questions are pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one. In 2010, the Human Poverty Index was supplanted by the United Nations dash. So it has been taken over by another index developed by the United Nations, and the underlying options are A, Multidimensional Deprivation Index, B, Multidimensional Depression Index, C, Multidimensional Poverty Index, and D, none of the above. So here in 2010, the Human Poverty Index, or HPI, was supplanted by the United Nations Multidimensional Poverty Index, and therefore option C, Multidimensional poverty index is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The Global Gender Gap Report was first published by Dash in 2006. Who published the Global Gender Gap Report for the first time in the year 2006? Whether it is A, World Bank, B, International Monetary Fund, C, World Economic Forum, or D, none of the above. So here the Global Gender Gap Report was first published by the World Economic Forum in the year 2006, and therefore option C, World Economic Forum, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Gender Gap Index is calculated using dash parameters. Gender Gap Index is calculated using what parameters? And the underlying options given to us are A, health, B, education, C, economy, and D, politics, and we have to select the correct answer. And the underlying options are, first option is A and B, that is health and education. Second is B and C, which is education and economy. The third one is A, B, and C, that is health, education, and economy, and the last is all of the above. So here the correct answer is all of the above. That means gender gap index is calculated using health, education, economy, and politics as the parameters. So option D, all of the above, is the correct answer, or option 4 rather. Let us now move to the next one. But obvious question, the minimum and maximum possible scores for gender gap index are what? And the underlying options are A, 0 and 1, B, -1 and +1, C, +1 and 100, and last is none of the above. So here a very factual sort of a question. The minimum and maximum possible scores for gender gap index are 0 and 1, that is minimum is 0 and maximum possible score is 1. So option A, 0 and 1, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. The rank of India in Global Gender Gap Index 2021 is dash. So current sort of a question, current affairs sort of a question. The rank of India in Global Gender Gap Index 2021 is A, 130, B, 140, C, 150, and D, 160. So here the correct answer is option B, 140. So the rank of India in Global Gender Gap Index is 140 or 140. So option B is the correct answer. Let us now move to the next one, an important definition. So please pay attention to this. Dash is defined as the relaxation of the previous government's restrictions. Dash is defined as the relaxation of the previous government's restrictions, usually in areas of social and economic policy. Usually in areas of social and economic policy, whether it is A, liberalization, B, privatization, C, globalization, or D, none of the above. So here liberalization is defined as the relaxation of previous government's restrictions, usually in the areas of social and economic policies. So option A, liberalization, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Economic liberalization means the dash, whether it is A, scrapping restrictions, B, scrapping licensing, C, scrapping controls, or D, all of the above. So economic liberalization means scrapping all these important things, that is restrictions, controls, licensings, which in a sense hinders economic activities. So here option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Let us now move to question number 29. Which of the following denotes the initiatives of liberalization? Initiatives of liberalization, and the underlying options are A, exemptions from licensing, B, incentives for foreign technology and investment, C, incentives for exports and imports, and D, all of the above. So initiatives towards liberalization or for liberalization includes all of these things. That means exemptions from licensing, which is against something called as red tapeism, that is licensing means a lot of restrictions and things like that. So initiatives for opening up includes exemptions from licensing, incentives for foreign technology and investment, as well as incentives for exports and imports, again helps in liberalization or helps in economic development explicitly. So option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Let us now move to the next one. The liberalization policy has dash positive impacts on the economy. What can be the positive impacts of liberalization policy on any economy per se? So the underlying options are A, increases foreign investment, B, increases economic growth, C, development of industry and allied sectors, and D, all of the above. So here the policy of liberalization has positive impacts in terms of all of these three things, that is it increases foreign investments, it also increases economic growth explicitly, and it also helps in development of industries and the allied sectors. So therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Dash means the end of public ownership and the establishment of private ownership. What means the end of public ownership and the establishment of private ownership? Whether it is A, liberalization, B, privatization, C, globalization, or D, none of the above. So, in the previous definition we have seen liberalization was the scrapping of the previous government's policy and forming new policies or perspectives or opening up the economy. So, here what is happening is it is the end of public ownership and establishment of private ownership, and it really denotes towards something called as privatization. So, option B, privatization, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Which of the following amounts to the objectives of privatization? The objectives of privatization: A, reduced political interference, B, efficient utilization of resources, C, the spread of capitalism, and D, all of the above. So, here which of the following amounts to objectives of privatization? All these important things, that is efficient utilization of available resources, the spread of capitalism, and also reduced political interference. So, option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Dash includes the measures of privatization, the measures of privatization, and the underlying options are A, the first measure, change in ownership, B, organizational measures, C, operational measures, and D, all of the above. So, what includes measures of privatization? All of the above. That means the measures of privatization can be in the form of change in ownership, organizational measures, and operational measures. We are going to look into all of these three things in the subsequent questions. So, let us look at the next question, which is in terms of change in ownership as a measure of privatization, and the question is: privatization through change in ownership measure includes dash. It includes A, complete denationalization, B, joint venture system, C, management buyout, and D, all of the above. So, here privatization through change in ownership measure includes all of the above. That means joint venture system, management buyout, as well as complete denationalization, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Privatization through change in organizational measure includes what? And the underlying options are A, government enterprise leads to the private sector, B, when government control is limited, C, government gives opportunity to improve businesses, and D, all of the above. So, privatization through the channel of change in organizational measures includes all of these three things, that is government enterprise leads to the private sector, government control is limited, and also government is giving opportunities for businesses to improve, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Let us now move to the next one. Privatization through change in operational measures were intended to improve a dash of the business. So, privatization through operational measures were intended to improve what of business? Whether it is A, flow of business, B, efficiency of business, C, policy of business, or D, none of the above. So, here privatization through change in operational measures were intended to improve the efficiency of business, and therefore option B, efficiency, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Which of the following denotes the limitations of privatization? So, the limitations of privatization, and the underlying options are A, no planning was involved in India, B, many private sector industries faced problems, C, all private sector industries couldn't maintain efficiency, and D, all of the above. So, here the correct answer is which of the following denotes the limitations of privatization? All of the above, that is no planning was involved, most of the industries had to face problems in this transition, and also they lost on something called as efficacy, or they couldn't maintain the efficacy, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this question. Let us now move to the next one. The next question is: dash means the integration of national economies into the international economy through trade, migration, FDI, and technology. What means the integration of national economies into the international economy through trade, foreign direct investment, migration, and technology? Whether it is A, liberalization, B, privatization, C, globalization, or D, none of the above. So, here the correct answer is it is nothing but globalization, which means integration of national economies into the international economy through all these important things suggested here, like trade, foreign direct investment, migration, as well as technology. So, option C, globalization, is the correct answer to this particular question. Next question is: promotion of free trade incorporates dash. What all things are included in promotion of free trade, and the underlying options are A. Elimination of tariffs, B. Elimination of capital controls, C. Harmonization of IPRs or intellectual property rights, and D. All of the above. So, promotion of free trade incorporates all of the above. That means eliminate tariffs, eliminate capital controls, and also harmonize the intellectual property rights. So, promotion of free trade, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Let us now move to the next one. The merits of globalization includes dash, and the underlying options are A. Increased competition, B. Improved technology, C. Economic development, and D. All of the above. The merits of globalization include what all things? So, here all these 3 points are in a sense talking about the merits of globalization. That means it increases competitions, it also improves the technology or production patterns, and also helps explicitly in economic development. So, option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the last question in this session. The limitations of globalization includes dash, and the underlying options are A. Cutthroat competition, B. Monopoly of MNCs or multinational companies, C. Impact on natural resources of a country, and D. All of the above. So, limitations of globalization includes all of these 3 things, that is cutthroat competition, and as a result all the infant industries and all the small industries have to suffer. Then monopoly of MNCs, absolutely yes, they become very strong players in the markets, and then impact on natural resources, which is very bad in a sense. So, option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular session. We have seen 41 important questions with respect to Indian and global economic development TY BCom paper. In the next session as well, I will cover some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to the same. So, please stay tuned for more. Thank you.